The war in Europe ended May 8, 1945. Allied EAD units were still neutralizing German ordnance in 1946. Some sites took decades. A small number remain unresolved today. Wehrmacht engineers designated this class of device Sprengfallen, spring traps. By 1943, the German military had issued standardized field manuals for their construction and deployment under the strategic doctrine of Verzögerungstaktik, delay operations. These were not improvised battlefield devices. They were produced to specification, deployed to doctrine, and distributed across every major command facility in the Reich. 3 primary trigger mechanisms were standardized across all documented Sprengfallen variants. Zugsicherung, tension initiation, used a trip wire calibrated to 2.5 kilograms of lateral force, anchored at ankle height across doorways and stairwells. Drucksicherung, pressure initiation, used a spring-loaded plate concealed beneath standard weight flooring or supply cache surfaces. Zugsunder pull initiation was integrated into objects at documented high contact points. Telephone receivers, desk drawer handles, document case latches. The Schumann 42, the most widely recovered variant, used a wooden casing specifically engineered to defeat Allied metal detection equipment and a pressure threshold of 7 kilograms, below the activation floor of standard mine detection pressure surveys. Sprengfallen were classified separately from anti-personnel mines under Allied Ordnance Protocol. They were not counted in mine clearance totals. The U.S. Army 12th Army Group documented 1.4 million anti-personnel mines, cleared in a single 6-month operational window. Group documented 1.4 million anti-personnel mines, cleared in a single 6-month operational window. Eisenhower single 6-month operational window. Documented 1.4 million anti-personnel mines, 1,945. The Sprengfallen count for the same period was not systematically recorded. That gap in the documentation record has been flagged in post-war ordnance analysis reports as a persistent data problem. The Berghof at Obersalzberg, Hitler's primary Alpine command compound, received priority EOD assessment upon Allied entry in May 1945. Declassified U.S. Army reports document a systematic deployment across the facility. Zugsicherung trip wires across the main residence access points. Drucksicherung pressure plates on the terrace stair approach. And a Zugsunder pull initiator concealed beneath a framed document in the main conference room. Allied EOD teams completed initial clearance of primary structures in 6 days. The sublevels were assessed as non-approachable with equipment available in theater. A partial lower corridor survey documented 3 additional devices classified as requiring specialist equipment not present in the operational area. Those devices were not neutralized in 1945. The 4-bunker complex in Berlin covered approximately 2,800 square feet across 2 sublevels. Soviet engineers documented 14 discrete trigger mechanisms during the May 1945 entry survey. Full clearance required 11 days. KGB operational archives, partially declassified in 1992, confirmed 2 devices in the lower sublevel were not successfully neutralized during the original clearance operation. Post-1945 disposition of those devices is absent from the available record. The Berghof was not fully demolished until 1952, 7 years post-surrender. Bavarian State Engineering records from the controlled demolition list 9 undetonated devices recovered during that operation. The Berghof had received priority clearance in 1945. It was the highest scrutiny site in the occupied Bavarian territory. 9 devices remained present and undetected through 7 years of post-war access. The Eagle's Nest complex at Kelstein House, assessed by American forces in 1945, was partially cleared. The surrounding tunnel and bunker network was not fully surveyed until the mid-1950s. Bavarian State Ordnance records from 1956 document device recovery from tunnel sections that had not been accessed during the original 1945 clearance operation. The EU Mine Action Coordination Center documented 20,451 World War II era ordnance items recovered from German soil between 2000 and 2020 at a sustained clearance rate of approximately 1,000 items per year across all ordnance categories. Sprengfallen are not broken out as a separate category in post-1960 recovery data. Devices recovered after that threshold are processed under General Ordnance Disposal Protocol due to degradation of original classification markers. Wehrmacht doctrine required Sprengfallen deployment at all command facilities, communication nodes, and high-value residential sites. Declassified records confirm incomplete clearance at the Berghof, the Vorbunker, and the Kelsteinhaus tunnel network. The 1945 clearance operations were assessed as incomplete by the agencies that conducted them. The specific device count remaining unresolved across all documented sites is not present in any available declassified record. The clearance operations ended. The deployment record did not. In the documented site-specific clearance data, which location represents the higher unresolved ordnance probability, the Kelsteinhaus tunnel sections, confirmed unaccessed in 1945, or the two lower sublevel devices noted as unresolved in the 1992 KGB declassification of the Vorbunker.